up, guys?
What's going on?
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Locky Top. We're going to be covering a variety of topics, variety of sports today. Start off with the basketball update for Tennessee. We'll head down to NFL. Frank's going to put it on ice for us. We'll talk about our best bets for the weekend, and then we have a special announcement for some tennis episodes that are going to come out this tomorrow and on the 29th of January. But before we get started, we have to say something. We were 1-6 against the spread last week as a team. This is a team here, and we're your coaches, I guess, throughout this Locky Talk Sports experience. And we just want to, fall on the flag and admit that, man, our picks were shit. We're going to be better, or we're going to be worse. We'll never beat 500. That's a personal guarantee I'm making to you, except for right now. You can see right now we're 7-7. Actually, we're exactly 500. So I'm telling you something that I'm telling you it won't be. But yeah, our first week we were 6-1 against the spread. Last week we were 1-6. We're going to keep track of our picks and just be accountable. Obviously, we're making our picks before all these games start, so there's no going backwards and fake locks type of situation with us. We're very transparent with how things are going to go. But with that, that's all we need to say about that. We're going to move on and we're going to lock it up this week. Let's start with the Tennessee basketball update. Tennessee is playing Bama today in about an hour. Tennessee is favored by 5.5 points. They're at home. Josh, why don't you get started on what your thoughts are for the game?
Hey, Naveen, I appreciate it. My thoughts are pretty simple. I think Tennessee's going to, in the back and forth between them and Bama, I think the last 8 games has been split right down the middle of 4-4. So we're going to go on the winner side, and Rick Barnes is going to own Nate Oates today. I think we're going to have another huge performance from Dalton Connect. Just looking at the KenPom rankings for Alabama, their defensive efficiency at their adjusted rate is a 63 for KenPom. Tennessee offensively is their adjusted offense is 21st. And then you look at Tennessee's adjusted defense, which is number 2. And then Alabama, their offense is number 1, right? So I think that tilts onto Tennessee's side. You have, the friendly confines of the Food City Center there with, the home crowd to kind of take all the juice that Bama has coming in the game out of there. I mean, it is cold. It's frozen. There in Knoxville, the weather's bad. So I think there's a lot that goes on Tennessee's side. We got to have a big game today from 2 guys that have kind of been missing lately with, Josiah Jordan-James and Santi. You're getting too many minutes from them and not a lot of production. On the defensive side, they're still playing great defense, but you got to have more than 5 points combined from those 2 to really give yourself a chance, because we got to stay balanced. We got to keep Bama outside of the paint and make them miss shots on the perimeter, because that's where they're going to make all their money if they get hot. So continue to play great defense, and we need our senior leaders on the team to kind of show up and do what we expect them to do, right? And then just more of the same from Dalton Connect. I want to see Toby Awaka, and I want to see Jonas get busy and get strong down low in the post. So I think Tennessee covers easily. I think, there's still some bad blood between those 2 from last year. So if Tennessee gets a chance to run it up, I think they're going to do that. So what do you think, Andy?
All right, thanks, Josh. I will just sort of expand on the statistics that you brought up. So, obviously you went through the adjusted offense and defensive rankings. I want to shift our focus to the strength of schedule a little bit here. And I feel like we always bring that up, no matter what across the sports, because, it's the the best sort of single metric, in my opinion, that tells how battle tested a team is. So looking through Tennessee's sort of the opponents, throughout the season so far, played Purdue, played Kansas, played North Carolina, played Illinois, played Ole Miss, Wisconsin. A pretty hefty ranked lineup there. That's 6 ranked teams right there. And for Bama, they played Purdue, Arizona, Creighton, and then Clemson, who sits just outside of the top 25. So, while Bama is pretty battle tested, I do feel personally that Tennessee's sort of went through stronger opponents, have fared better. Their records are very similar. Expanding on the offense and defensive metrics that you mentioned, one thing to look out for is Bama's 3-point shooting, number 5 in the nation at 39.7%. That is a very strong percentage, almost NBA, above NBA average, so to speak. And Tennessee, of course, as you guys know, struggles from the 3, 170 in the nation right now at 33.6%. And that kind of contributes to the scoring drought that we see. We go into the hole where we try to answer the opponent by going to the 3-point shots, clank in the rebound. In my opinion, you can't play the game that they want you to play. It's like playing against the Steph Curry Golden State Warriors and going into a 3-point contest. Can't do that. We got to find our game, which is the defense. Tennessee allows 66 points per game. Bama allows 74. Bama does score at a higher rate, but when top level offense meets top level defense, usually defense prevails. I do like Tennessee here. One player I want to bring the attention to, just because it seems that because Dalton Knecht is crushing it so far, he's getting all the national attention. And perhaps because of that, I feel that Zakai Ziegler is not getting enough praise for his performances last 2-3 weeks. Since the conference games have started, he's been playing 36 minutes per game. So it does seem that he's fully back from his injury. He's up to the game speed. In that span, he's averaging 17 points, 3.8 rebounds, 6.5 assists with 2 steals, and just 3 turnovers. So that is pretty impressive. He's shooting 55, 37, 74 for a whopping 69.4% true shooting percentage. That is very impressive from a guy that is 5'9", going up against lengthier defenders. But as you guys know, he's got the touch around the rim. He is actually shooting right now, just in those four games since the conference play began. He's shooting 90% at the rim, 90%. So it's telling that how much of his strength relies on finishing around the rim, penetrating, and he's making the right reads, able to dish out to open teammates. Looking forward to seeing him drive and hopefully come out with a victory.
So what you're telling me basically is Zakai Ziegler is a fucking dog.
He's got the dog in him.
A dog in him, bro. I got it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, Zakai has been he's been the heartbeat of the team, man. Defensively, offensively, when they need a spark, boom. He's battle tested. He's always there to get us through some of those weird scoring droughts. Like he typically is the spark that gets us going. But you can't take away what Dalton Knecht's done. He's in rare air, with those 30-plus point games that he's been tallying, up the last couple games. So not to take any shine away from Zakai. And I know you guys up in the Northeast love Zakai. He's a Long Island boy, right? So I get it. But hey, man, got to give credit where credit's due with what Dalton's doing. We've not seen something like that in the last 25 years in SEC basketball. So, there's something to be said for that. And, I just want Zakai to keep doing the same thing. I think we'll be fine.
Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to appreciate a little bit more on Dalton. I think that really we haven't seen this type of scoring since Allen Houston on Tennessee. We had that one Grant Williams 40-point game away, but he's doing it everywhere. Dalton is. He's doing it at home. He's doing it away. When you want to get out of a scoring drought, which Tennessee is often in, you go to Dalton Connect. When you're on a run, you go to Dalton Connect. When you want, crazy ISO Carmelo Anthony plays, you also go to Dalton Connect. So he is very versatile. He's not just a shooter. He drives very well. And really, I don't know that there's a better player right now in the SEC, maybe even, in the national stage, maybe Zach Edey, I don't know. But yeah, like we're seeing some historical kind of achievements from Dalton, and it's great to be a fan at this point.
Naveen, let me ask you if
Yep.
you have to take, let's fast forward to the NBA lottery, right? If you have to take Zach Edey or Dalton Connect, who are you taking?
I'm taking Dalton Connect. It's pretty easy for me. Zach Edey is one of those players that seems great in college basketball.
He's a one-trick pony, man. He's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, and when you also have players of that size that can move, like Victor Wembanyama is around his size, but he can do everything with a basketball. Zach Edey really is just playing a power game, and he's doing well in the college stage. Don't want to take that away from him, but man, Dalton is more of a complete scorer, and he's instant offense. Like
very versatile. Very versatile. Yeah. And the thing that I really appreciate about Dalton when he's on the floor, Andy listed off a lot of stats for Zakai, but Zakai, almost gets those opportunities because of the spacing, the offensive spacing that happens because of Dalton, right? That's something that Rick Barnes keeps, hounding the team about, is to be conscious of the spacing, especially in offense. That way those lanes are open, shooting opportunities are open there. So, I mean, just in the sense of Dalton being on the floor, and his ability to score on a lot of different levels, whether it's, down low, shooting a three, the mid-range, it's all there, right? That really affects the spacing holistically, which, helps the offense overall.
Yeah, he reminds me of, and not just because of the complexions, but he reminds me a lot of Austin Reeves. Very smart player, about the same build, 6'5", 6'6", about the same weight. Very crafty. Definitely gonna be a first rounder. Zach Edey is more like a Jahlil Okafor type of dominating in college, but maybe not against the elite athleticism and the size of the NBA.
Yeah, I agree. Frank, What are your thoughts?
I mean, from what I'm hearing, obviously I don't know as much about Tennessee basketball as you guys. But that game to me obviously sounds like an over from everything you're saying. Bama lights it up from three. Tennessee's going to stay in the game, or, whichever team takes a lead, the other team's going to chase them the whole game, sounds like. So to me, it sounds like the game will go over. But, obviously I don't know a ton about NCAA basketball, but just from what you guys are saying, to me, I don't know which team will win, but it just sounds like the game will have a lot of points in it.
Come on, Frank. You just go ahead and say it. Go Vols. It's pretty easy. Just say it.
We got to respect the man for not succumbing to the peer pressure here in the sea of orange. He's
I didn't say Bama. I didn't say it sounds like Bama's going to win,
Yeah. Well, Zakai Ziegler is a Long Island kid. Frank, you're a Long Island kid. Why don't you start us off with a little look into, what should be a great weekend of NFL for us? Obviously, Saturday we got Texans at the Ravens, Packers at the Niners. Sunday we got Buccaneers at the Lions and Chiefs at the Bills. Why don't you start us off with some of your thoughts for the Saturday games? Maybe start off with Texans. Let us know what you're thinking. What exactly are your reads for today?
Yeah, so I think with the Texans-Ravens game, the Ravens are obviously rested. They're prepared for the game, so they're going to come out ready. But on the flip side of that, you see C.J. Stroud. I mean, he's been playing lights out lately, as a Houston quarterback. I mean, I don't think too many people expected him to be as good as he is, and he's definitely just ready to play. So for that game, I'm really not sure who to take. It looks like the spread's 9.5 for Baltimore. I would probably say Baltimore, to be honest.
Yeah, Lamar's going to line them up. Man.
I think it's almost got to be Baltimore. I think the spread looks like, hey, CJ Stroud's great. Texans are easily covering. But the reality is the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. So, I don't think they're going to not cover 9.5 points. I think they probably win by 17 or something like that. So that's my read on that one. Lamar Jackson. Packers Niners, I think, is going to be a great game. I think that's going to be a slugfest. The only read I have on it's going to go. I think it's going to go over for that game. Packers Niners over. I would just put it in the bank. I think there's going to be 75 points in the game, 80 points or something crazy. I don't know what team's going to win, but I think it's going to go back and forth. A lot of points. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. Bucks Lions tomorrow. Low scoring game, I think, in that one. I think maybe even like a 17-16 game or something crazy like that. But I would go with the underdog there, Buccaneers +6, maybe under also. And Chiefs Bills last game. I just take the Chiefs. Keep it simple there. They're an underdog, but I'll just take moneyline Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes knows how to win in the playoffs. Josh Allen doesn't necessarily know how to win in the playoffs. He knows how to get there, but he typically loses at some point. So that's what I got.
Cool. Andy?
So with the Texans at Ravens game, I do agree with Frank there. I think Ravens roll. What caught my eyes there is how low the game total is, 43.5. You would think the way CJ Stroud is lighting it up and way Lamar's been playing strong to finish the season, you would think that it would be a high-scoring game, and the lines would reflect that. Line seems almost too low. That sort of makes me believe that the way the odds makers are seeing this, it's going to be a one-sided game where Ravens defense really comes out and shuts down the rookie quarterback. Again, CJ has been very impressive. The weapons that he has, someone like Nico, very dynamic threat. That being said, I do want to take the proven coach and the proven somewhat quarterback in Lamar Jackson to roll there. Packers at Niners, similar to, again, agreeing with Frank there. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do want to take the underdog there in Packers and say Packers +10. Bucks at Lions, this is a very interesting one. As much as I root for Baker Mayfield, I do want to say that the Lions are going to win. I do want to point out how many weapons on offense the Lions have. Lions have the dual threat in Jahmyr Gibbs and the traditional power running back in David Montgomery. On the receiving side, we have the Amon-Ra St. Brown, the good old faithful. Anytime you want a third down, throw it to him, he'll catch it. Very high target receiver. Typically gets around 10 to 12 targets a game. And then the rookie, Sam Laporta, continues his pretty impressive streak there. He's basically crashing all the rookie records. Right now, he's had nearly 900 yards on the season and 10 touchdowns. He's also added a touchdown last week against the Rams. I like the Lions to roll here. And then lastly, Chiefs at Bills. I'm actually going to take Bills money line. I don't like this 2.5 spread. It seems like it's going to come down to a missed 2-point attempt or something like that. That being said, with the Bills, I like the way Dalton Kincaid has been playing. He played a huge role last week. He's also a sensation, maybe not as getting as much of a spotlight as Sam Laporta, but he's put up a very solid season, tallying nearly 700 yards on the season. Last week he had a touchdown and nearly 60 yards. Looking at the Chiefs, I mean, Chiefs always are a threat. Their receiving has been a little bit suspect this season. That being said, if we have to pick one person who might see a lot of action, I think it's going to be Rashee Rice. 10 targets last week. He's been probably the most reliable receiver on the Kansas City side. So it's going to be a firepower game. But that being said, I'm taking the home team here to advance. Not sure about the spread necessarily, but I'm taking the Bills money line.
Cool. Josh, your thoughts?
Hey, man. Andy did a really comprehensive rundown right there. I don't have a lot to add, except just giving my picks. I think obviously the Ravens are going to get it done. I'm going to kind of go against the grain here with Packers and Niners. I think Brock Purdy's going to have another meltdown game like he did at Christmas. I really do. Give me the Packers on that one. I just think the moment's going to be too big for Brock going into the playoffs for the first time. So, could be wrong, but yeah, I'm going to trust my gut on this one. I think the Packers get it done. Lions, Bucks, give me Lions. Hendon Hooker. Yeah, I know he's not starting or anything, but hey, he's with the Lions. Give me the Lions. I mean, Detroit's fans, they're long suffering. And as a Tennessee football fan, Titans, Vols, I can commiserate a little bit with them. So them getting the opportunity to make it to the playoffs and potentially have a very special season and potentially make the Super Bowl. And I'm happy for them. Detroit needs something to believe in like that. So, go Lions on that one. And Baker Mayfield can eat shit. I don't like that guy. Haven't liked him since he came into Knoxville and did the beat to the Vols about 8 years ago now. So, yeah, I don't like Baker, and I hope the Lions crush them. Chiefs, Bills. I want to see the Bills win just because, we have some mutual friends that like the Bills. Not the biggest Bills fan, especially being a fan of the Titans. They've kind of been a thorn in our ass for the last few years, but same with the Chiefs. If I'm looking at who I hate most, it's probably the Chiefs. I'm sick of seeing Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'm sick of seeing Patrick Mahomes always win. But the Illuminati of the NFL refereeing is probably going to rear its ugly head because Ed Hockley is the official for this game, and there's a lot of weird stuff that goes down when Ed is part of that game. Oh, Bills Mafia, nice, good. That's a cool shirt, man. But give me the Chiefs begrudgingly, just because I think the fix is in for the Chiefs to make it. They don't make it past Lamar though. I think it's going to be the Ravens and the Lions. Not to give away my picks, but I think it's going to be Ravens Lions in the Super Bowl. So we'll see how it shakes out this week in the divisional rounds, and a lot of good football this week, man, for the playoffs. Like it gets me excited. 2:00 the basketball game starts, and then right after basketball, straight into some solid NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
I summarized my pick here with this banner. All the dogs are going to heaven. So we got the Packers, we got the Bucks, you got the Chiefs, you got the Texans, and you got the Ravens. I'm kind of following the rules of if 3 people tell you one thing in NFL, you got to exactly take the opposite. So 3 of my friends here are taking Ravens. So I'm on Texans. I will give it to them. I think the Ravens covered the first half, and you see some backdoor magic. Not saying Texans outright. I just think it's a 7-point game. There'll be some garbage touchdown at the end of the game to cover the full game spread. Lamar Jackson covers the first half 68% of the time over all his games where he starts. So that's a fun fact there. If you're trying to pile that game, I would go first half. Touching on that over-under, Andy, our friend John Wanchuk is going to the game. So He said it is 15 degrees in Baltimore right now. It's an outdoor game, 43.5. Seems like they're asking you to take over, but really you should take under. It's another one of those weather games. So
That's right.
Yeah, so just heads up there for you bettors. Packers, Niners. I don't trust Brock Purdy. Josh talked about it. Christmas Day, he was exposed. What, three or four picks?
Five
picks. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. That's like I've never even seen 5 picks in a game. Usually you get thrown out of the game by your coach. Niners. I mean, Packers. Jordan Love is the best quarterback since like week 10. So we should see, at least Packers being able to stay within that 9 number. We didn't touch upon this yet, but teams with first round buys and spreads over 8 are 10 and 25 ATS. So that's just a trend that fits my scheme here of All Dogs Go to Heaven. Great, great animated film from the 90s. On Sunday, we got Bucks Lions. I think this is a tremendous letdown spot for Lions. It seemed like, Jesus came back when they got their first win in 30 years. And I don't know. It seems like, the guy in red is coming to town now. So Bucks +6. I'd even go Bucks ML.
It's not happening, bro. Not red, man.
I was saying last week, dude. It's Baker Mayfield's time.
Yeah,
it's Baker's time, dude.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's the over of the week for me. 49.5 now. It's in a dome. Baker shouldn't be affected. I think Lions are the biggest Swiss cheese secondary available in the playoffs. So you look for points there. Bucks, ML, Bucks over. Any way you want to bet Bucks, bet Bucks. And Chiefs said Bills. Sunday night, Taylor will be bundled up.
Taylor she looked like she was in an ice box last week, man.
Yeah,
games. It was wild, dude.
Yeah, she's gonna be coming home with Kelsey and the dub. So I think that it's gonna be Chiefs +2.5. I want to stay on the number. I don't want to go ML because I think that there will be some kind of ridiculous play, field goal to win by 2. That's all live with Chiefs or Bucks or Bills. But yeah, it's going to be a close game. We're going to see a lot of Illuminati. We're going to see a lot of questionable calls, maybe calls we're not seen before, offsides on offense. All those things are live with Chiefs. So those are my reads.
Do we have any DGen picks for what the first penalty of the game will be?
I don't know.
False start, offsides.
I mean, for me, I think that if I'm the Chiefs D, anytime Josh Allen's running, like if he's going slightly out of bounds, I think it's worth the 15 yards to just demolish him.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, just go super hard on Josh Allen when he tries to run at you. This is a guy that doesn't really care about his body. He will sacrifice anything. And you got to show early that, set the tone. It's not going to be a running day. You're not getting any fake slides. If he tries to fake slide, you got to demolish him. There's no other way. So those are my thoughts there.
It reminds me, the last quarterback I remember throwing 5 picks in a game was a Tennessee and Pittsburgh and a Buffalo Bills legend, Nate Peterman, big Nate dog, with the 5 interceptions in first half. So that tells you how much Brock Purdy, what a quality quarterback Brock Purdy is.
Nate Peterman, I'll never forget he got thrown in to start against Florida, I think his freshman year. And that went about the same. He didn't throw 5 picks, but I think his first throw of the game was an interception to Florida, and it just kind of unraveled from there. He didn't take any more snaps the rest of the game, but he wound up having a good career. I think he transferred to Pittsburgh, so I'll let the Panthers of Pitt claim him, and he's definitely not a VFL. Wish him the best of luck, but Yeah, thanks for bringing up those bad memories, Andrew. Thanks. Real quick, before we switch gears on the NFL, I have one last question for you, Naveen. Who's the biggest difference maker for their team, Lamar Jackson or C.J. Stroud?
So I think Lamar Jackson is this year's MVP. CJ Stroud is a bigger difference maker, though. He comes, it's really the pairing of CJ Stroud and D'Amico. Yeah, the guy just doesn't throw interceptions. It's pretty good. Lamar, he's great in the regular season. We haven't seen him have a premier playoff game yet. There's 100% pressure on Lamar Jackson. CJ Stroud is just there, like just trying to kick it, do whatever he can do. But CJ Stroud's more important. He seems like a natural leader. He's 22 years old, but he's got the whole team galvanized from like a 2-win team to a 9-10 win team. And yeah, like if you ask me right now, who do I want for the next 5 years? Kind of think it's CJ Stroud, not Lamar.
Yeah, buy CJ Stroud stock right now. It's going up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also the rookie quarterback on a team-friendly contract and all that, and the age too, right? I think that's a no-brainer. You got to take the younger quarterback on a cheap contract.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's kind of the same deal. He's making like league minimum, right? So,
and he's gonna play like one, playing like a league minimum player.
Got to get diced up today.
Frank, what about your?
I'm starting to think the Packers might win the Super Bowl. The more I hear you guys talk,
All dogs go to heaven.
Yeah, I mean, like Cowboys last week is an example of like why you take the Packers. It wasn't even a game. It was over.
I tried to tell you, Frankie. I tried to tell you.
Yeah, it was wishful thinking. I was thinking about it because when I used to live in Dallas, I would actually drive by Jerry Jones's house every day when I went to work. And this guy's house, it has like literally bushes surrounding the entire house, so nobody can like see in, so he can kind of hide away when he chokes in the playoffs, And I was back in my mind, and I was like, you know what? It's gonna be one of those things right now. They're Cowboys are gonna get smoked. Then, I thought it'd be 14-0 Cowboys, 14-0 Packers immediately. So what can you do?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's switch gears a little bit and start with you, Frank. Why don't you just put it on ice for us? Give us your hockey reads and tell us what kind of bets you're looking at for the hockey this weekend.
Yeah. So my best bet the entire season is Colorado Avalanche over. They have scored 7 goals or more in 70% of their games this season, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know that that's been seen in the NHL before. I was actually adding all the games up, looking at how many games they scored 7 goals or more, and it's 70% of the games. And then when they play a team above 500, it's over 80%. So if you want to, be on the best end of a coin flip, whenever you see the Avalanche play, just take the over, and you're going to win the bet 70% of the time. So the only time I see like the Avalanche really not get there is when they're facing a really good defensive team like the Hurricanes. I mean, even last night they played or a night or two ago they played the Bruins, and it was a 5-2 game. Still got there, So Avalanche over has been my pick all year. It's just something to keep sticking with. It just keeps coming in over and over and over. Game could be 3-2 with 3 minutes left in the game. Somehow gets to 5-2. I don't know how it gets there, but it seems like it just happens every single time. So I don't know what else to say about that. It just keeps coming in, The other one that I like, at least for today, Winnipeg Jets are playing the Senators. The Winnipeg Jets probably have the 2 best goalies as far as like a 1-2 punch in the league. They got Connor Hellebuck and then Brissett. And basically, these guys combine to allow 2.28 goals per game. It's top 5 in the NHL as far as goals allowed between your first and second goaltender. These guys are very Jets are an interesting team because they're very, very slow and very big, but very physical, and they control the game for the most part. So if they get up a goal, like the game's almost over. If they get up like 2-0, Jets win the game pretty much every single time. So
lock it down.
Yeah. So the Senators also are, they only got like 15 or 16 wins this year. They win basically 1 out of every, 3.5 games or something like that, or 1 out of every 3 games. So this one's Jets. It's a easy plus 170. I think you're seeing like 4-1, the other game, Avalanche 5-3, 6-4. It's just every other game is like that for the Avalanche. So it's also a plus like 105 for Avalanche over 6.5 today. So the other thing I'll note about the Avalanche is something interesting that they do that really no other team does in the NHL. They'll start pulling their goalie with like 7 minutes left in the game, or 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. So if they're down, let's say they're down 4-1 with 7 minutes left, the goalie's coming out. So the over's coming in. That's why it's 70%. Like that. That's why it keeps happening, because these guys just keep pulling their goalie with like 5, 6, 7 minutes left in the game, and they're just allowing those last 2 goals to go in the net, basically at the end of every game. So, yeah, I mean, like the other day is a great example. Like 3-2, 5-2 final, 3 minutes left in the game, 2 goals going. So it's just something I've been seeing all season. I've been following it. Just keeps happening. I don't know. That's what I got for the NHL right now. My Rangers have been sucking lately. They got pummeled by the Vegas Knights.
Hate to see it.
I don't know what it is, man. They're very inconsistent. They just like, even watching the Vegas Knights game, I watched the first period and then I gave up after that. So they came out the first 10 minutes, had maybe 6 or 7 scoring opportunities where they had an empty net 2 or 3 times to shoot at and missed. Goalie made a good save, and then 2 goals immediately right after by the Knights. And then, playing in Vegas, the Vegas Knights in Vegas, it's just a silly thing to fade. Never take the other team against Vegas in Vegas.
Cool. So let's transition a little bit. Let's take a look at our best bets of the weekend. Josh, let's start with you. I know you got some reads on NFL. We talked about them, and maybe for hoops as well.
Yeah. So, kind of recap some of my NFL picks is, Packers minus 9.5, Chiefs plus 10, Lions 2.5. And then one of my biggest ones, Nova. Villanova is going to get the dub against UConn plus 4 tonight. I have, a lot of good inside information on that one. That's going to be the lock. So go ahead, take Nova, and not for nothing, Nova. I know they're unranked. They have a pretty good record right now, and they've done really well on the road. Now they're playing at home tonight against UConn, but I think UConn's kind of a paper tiger, honestly. And I think they're just going to be the next victim of the team ranked number 1, right? We've seen a lot of turbulence there the last couple of weeks with the number 1 ranked team, and really just the top 5 in all of college basketball. But Nova, they went on the road at Creighton, at Memphis, and at North Carolina, and got wins in all 3 of those games. So Nova might be circling back to be the Nova of about 5 years ago. And, for me, I got a good feel, good vibe. Just take Nova plus 4, and you're going to make yourself some money on that one.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with the homer picks here with the Tennessee, and I think we went through it earlier. I like a lot of the metrics, what that shows, the adjusted efficiency margin, the defense, the strength of schedule, everything, I think. And on top of that, it's a home game. Tennessee is a very strong home team. It has been for the last 4 or 5 years or so. So I will go with Tennessee to cover the spread, hopefully. Lock it down, 5.5. Lock it down, 15.5. It's a done deal. And then the Bills, for the similar reason as Naveen mentioned earlier, I think I alluded to it. It will come down to probably the last minute possession, some either missed field goal or missed 2-point conversion type of game. I don't feel safe necessarily taking the -2.5. But that being said, I don't think Chiefs give me a lot of confidence, just given how their seasons went, who they played, and how they fared against some of the competition. Give me the Bills to win, bring it home.
Awesome. I have a lot of picks for you, but I'll condense them down. All dogs go to heaven. That's very easy to understand. Texas Tech, -2.5. Kentucky, -14.5. UNC, -6.5. And I think Ole Miss covers the 12.5. If I had to give you one pick for the weekend in college basketball, it would be UNC -6.5. I think
North Carolina.
Yep. I think Josh and I went to go see UNC at their building versus Tennessee, and I was really impressed with how they score. They shoot the ball really well, and really, really can expect a lot out of them this year. And I think they're going to be in the Final Four, so just watch out for them.
Listen, guys, not to cut Naveen off, but I have to address our audience real quick. Naveen is what we call a Tarval, meaning he roots for North Carolina in basketball and in Tennessee in football. Okay,
exactly. Yes.
He is definitely a closet North Carolina basketball fan. I mean,
I'm out the closet, Josh. Very much.
He was wearing orange when we went and watched Tennessee and Carolina play. But, man, the guy went down. He got on the court. I thought he was just going to melt right there. It was a sight to see. But, yeah, just so everybody knows, I'm exposing him now. Naveen, definitely a Tar Heel basketball fan.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Fade him on all of his Carolina picks. He's just a homer. Just fade him every time, Carolina.
Okay. I mean, there you got it. You got the read, and then you got the contra read. So now based on who you believe and who you follow, make your choice wisely. I do have one last topic. Josh wanted to touch on a little bit of college football, but before we do that, I think I'll just make a quick announcement. We're going to have some special episodes coming up. Tomorrow we'll have our first one about the Australian Open quarterfinals and beyond. And then after the tournament ends on the 28th, we'll have a recap episode on the 29th. This is something we're trying out. The episodes will be with Roman, the Michigan man, and a friend of mine, Gary, who covers tennis professionally. So he can give us the real reads and not the BS reads that we come up with in our, in our rooms on our computers. So that'll be something to look out for. But Josh, I'll let you take it away. Kalen DeBoer. The loss of top talent at Bama. What does that mean for the SEC? What does it mean for the Vols? Let us know.
Yeah, so Kalen DeBoer, I think great hire for Alabama. And he was, Washington's coach, as we all know, just played in the national championship game. But the Saban discount doesn't apply to Bama anymore, right? So they're having a hard time keeping kids that came specifically to Alabama to stay on the team because they wanted to play for Nick Saban. Now they're all transferring out, and it
seems like they're
sorry to cut you off. No, it's good. It's leaving this huge hole for them because of the timing of it all. The transfer portal is basically emptied out by now with all the top talent. The only people that are in it now are really all the Bama players that are trying to get out of town. Their NIL collective is trash in Tuscaloosa. You would think with all that money that they've been getting, they probably was just spending it on, Chargers and Challengers. So that's why they don't have any money left. They were giving Derrick Henry Challengers and Chargers and Tua while they were in college, and then now the NIL has came and kind of leveled the playing field, so to speak. But you're seeing their roster being rated of all of their former 4- and 5-star talents, and that was really, I think, Alabama's advantage, because they would just come at you in waves constantly throughout games of 4- and 5-star talent. They would just chew you up and spit you out. And your typical SEC opponent, they just didn't have the amount of talent to go against Alabama. I think that's going to change. Also think Kalen DeBoer probably is not going to be at Alabama longer than 3 years. I think that they're going to run him out of there really fast, because he's not going to get the results that they think Alabama should get year in and year out. Whether there's Nick Saban there or not, even before Nick Saban, trust me, I've watched those slack-jaw hill jacks down there go through the worst part of their football program when I was growing up, and I saw it even when they had Mike DeBose and everybody else running the place. They still thought that they were Bear Bryant, Alabama. And newsflash, Nick Saban and Bear Bryant ain't walking through that damn door anymore. And they're going to be the doormat of the SEC. I'm telling you that right now. Tennessee, we're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns next year. It's not going to be close. What Kellen DeBoer is going to try to do, he doesn't have the athletes to do. He wants to run his Washington offense. And I don't think it's going to work out for him in that first year. I hate to see it happen to such a great group of people. 6 national titles in 15 years. I know they've been wandering in the desert for a long time. So, my heart goes out to them, losing all this talent and then, being relegated out of the quote-unquote Champions League of college football, right? So hopefully Tennessee gets some of these cats. I know we just landed the offensive lineman from LSU yesterday to replace Gerald Mincey, who decided to hit the portal and go to Kentucky. Who does that? I don't know. But he made a big post crying about, all the Tennessee fans giving him a hard time because, he gave his all for Tennessee because he was playing all year on a torn MCL, supposedly. But hey, man, there's a lot to say for loyalty, man, and it kind of seems like the trend is just to bounce around from team to team to team. But I think there's some value that goes into people with some character that stays committed to what they start. And hopefully, and I've been saying this through all of our episodes, we get a little bit of a better grasp on the ability for players to transfer 3 or 4 teams throughout their college career, because I believe as an adult, we're all adults. We all, some of us have families, some, in jobs and everything. We're all grown men here. And I think we can all agree that if you start something, you should finish it. Right. And just letting kids not be able to follow through on commitments is probably setting them up for failure as they go further on into their life, their careers, and adulthood.
Andy, any closing thoughts on this topic regarding Bama, maybe some Tennessee updates?
Nothing productive to add. I think Josh hit the nail there. I do have a slightly different opinion on the ability to transfer. I think if the coaches are able to bounce, why shouldn't the players be? It's got to be fair. And with the NIL, it's turning more like a professional league. And if that's the case, your worth is what someone else will pay you. And if that's the better number, I can't fault the athlete for wanting to go to a program that will recognize them, that will pay them more. These athletes, they want to work hard, make it to the pro one day, but maybe some of them aren't going to eventually make it to pro, and this is their only chance at making it big. And I can't really hate on them for wanting to take care of their parents, want to take care of their family.
Would you be on board with maybe doing like a salary cap or some type of we're signing contracts. Because like not every player in the pros is an unrestricted free agent after every single season. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what college football has turned into. Literally every player in college football right now is an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the teams that are losing their players. But again, just kind of considering if you get a serious injury, your career as an athlete might be over before you even make it to pro league and get drafted, get the signing bonus, guaranteed contract. I can't really fault them for trying to get the bag that well they can.
Yeah, just the only thing that I'll add is they should have incentive laden NIL just to make sure that you're playing in the bowl games.
We kind of talked about that before.
Yeah, I think that's really the only product thing that has hurt after NIL and this transfer market has happened. Like nobody plays in the bowl games unless you're in the college football national championship, and even still, some of those people don't play. I don't mind them making money. The schools have been making hundreds of millions of dollars a year the whole time for 150 years of college football. They're owed whatever they need to be owed. I'm fine with them getting paid, but like just as a fan, play all the games, man. If you're not hurt, play the games, and then you'll get your money. Like maybe 50% of the money throughout the season, 50% after the bowl game. That's how I think it should go down.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me too. I mean, not watching the best quarterback or the best running back or the best wide receiver play for his team, at the end of the year.
Yeah,
that sucks as a fan, for every school, across
even as a neutral fan.
Yeah, even as a neutral fan, it's like
the fans are paying into the collectives, right? So, like, what's the return on the investment?
Exactly. Yeah, I think we're in a pivotal point of NFL and college football. There's only 7 games of football left, guys, over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Then we got 6 months off. God bless the 7 games we have. Let's make them the best games. Let's all try to go 4-0. And yeah, that's a good point for us. Let's try to lock it up and keep providing our fans some value with our picks.
So what do we think? The best pick is the Packers, right? +10.
I think so.
It depends which one you're most confident on. Then let us know.
It's Packers. It's Packers, 100%.
All right.
College basketball picks gotta be Nova, man. Nova.
Okay.
Lock it down. Lock it in. 8:00 tonight. Nova's gonna get the dub against UConn.
Yep. So, just a message to our fans. Feel free to subscribe to our podcast. It comes out on YouTube. We post a lot on TikTok and Twitter, Instagram. We're going to be, we're going to be posting more. Just thanks for everybody that's listened so far, and hopefully we can grow and get more of you going. So, I'll top out.
All right. See you guys.